Right, how's it going, guys? Welcome back to another video. I wanted to show you guys all of my begonias today because my begonia collection has changed so much over the past couple of years. Like, I'd say about 4 months ago I had maybe 2 begonias, and about 2 years ago I had about 25 begonias. So it's just like changing a lot. But at the moment, my begonias are doing really well, and you can see this one just behind me. This is my biggest one. And that one's flowering like crazy, and then I've got a couple here that are flowering like crazy as well. So I thought it'd be the perfect time to show you all of my begonias in one video, so that maybe like by next winter I'll be able to see how much my collection has changed, because begonias are something I always come back to. I end up like collecting loads. Somehow they dissipate through multiple ways, and then I come back to collecting them again. And right now I'm really enjoying my collection. It's not too big and it's not too small, and everything's doing good. None of them have got pests, touch wood, and they're all growing really nicely. So I think I'll start off with I'll do my oldest one first. So this begonia here, I don't have the name of, and never have had the name of this one, but this is my oldest begonia. This is my first begonia I ever owned, and it's still doing really well. These larger leaves here are super. You see the stem is like super long. Yeah, it's like 7 inches long, and that's because I had it for a couple of weeks away from the window. I've since put it back towards the window because I just don't want it being that long. There's a lot of dead leaves in there that I need to pick out, but this has been in this pot for like 4 years. Yeah, 4 years. I think that's crazy if it has. Yeah, it's definitely been 4 years. And when I potted it in there first, I did include some slow release fertilizer granules, but that was obviously 4 years ago, so they're not really gonna, if any, have any nutrients in there now. But it's just planted up in soil. There is no hole in the bottom of this container, and yeah, it's just doing so well. It's just always done really well. The leaves are really dusty, and that's like 4 years worth of dust. The new leaves, however, dustless. Yeah, the color on this has changed so much, because when I first got it, it was not this pink. I would not have. I don't love this begonia the way it looks, but so like when I picked it up, there was a lot more silver in it. You see, there's slight bits of silver on that leaf. It was a lot more like that. So I'd say it's something to do with the light levels, definitely, but I don't really want to move it around too much. I mean, to be fair, I move this one around a lot anyway because it's just pretty big. But yeah, I don't have the variety name. If you guys know the variety name of that one, or there's a million begonia varieties out there, but if you can give any indication or your best guess, then that'll be much appreciated. But yeah, that one's always doing good. And when I first had this, within the first year I had it, I let it die down to the soil multiple times just through underwatering, and it has bounced back every single time. So if I knew the name of that one, I would recommend it, but I don't, so hey. Okay, right, the next oldest is gonna be, I actually think it's this. Yeah. Or that. No, maybe it's, right. Next up, I'm not sure exactly which one's older, but these ones are babies, but I mean from when I first got the begonia. So these are begonia griffons. These are the only propagation, no, there's one more propagation I've got in my propagation box, but these ones are the only begonia griffons that I have potted up and growing. They're doing all right. Like, they don't have any new leaves coming yet, and they haven't grown a new leaf since putting them in these containers on their own, having taken them out of the propagation box. But they're really cute, and I've just, or I'm debating buying a lot more of these because I've seen them used in outdoor planting, like in containers, like subtropical containers, and they look really cool. So I was thinking I might buy a lot more of these online and grow them that way. But my only concern is then when it comes to having to bring them back in because they're not hardy, I'll need a lot of space to put them. But I could potentially just chop them right back every winter and take loads of cuttings of them and then grow the cuttings for the following year. That might be a way. So maybe I'll do that. But these do get massive, like huge, like that. Not the leaves, but the spread of the plant gets like a meter across if you let it. My adult plant of that, I just neglected it for too long. It was like in the process of me moving house and stuff, and there was like slight overlap of plant death. Anyway, moving on from that. They're doing pretty good. Right, the next one I've got is the Begonia Sumatra Green or Green Sumatra, and a little dead piece. Now this is the one potted one I've got. I do have about 3 or 4 of these in my propagation box that are maybe that size. So I'm so happy that this one's doing well because this one is beautiful and it's not a very cheap begonia. I mean, it's not massively expensive either, but I think when I got this, it was about 10, 11 pound, or was it? Yeah, 10 pound. But I've seen these go for a lot more than that. Like, well, I say a lot more, like 16 quid. But this one is so pretty. Oh, you see the color a lot better like that. The silver in the leaves is really nice. And the one thing I like about this begonia is that every different light level I've had it in, it always stays the same color, because with the other begonia, like, it changes a lot, and I don't like that. I like the stability of a single color. I like to know what's going to happen. But yeah, it's doing really well. And since potting it up in this pot, because I did use this little twig to hold it up because it wasn't rooted very well, it's now pretty stable in there. So I'm not going to remove the twig because it's too cute, but yeah, it's looking a lot better. And I've just recently actually taken the propagator lid off of the propagator that has this one in, and I've kept it off for about 4 or 5 days, and it hasn't shown any signs of not enjoying that. So yeah, that one's really cool. I love that one. Okay, right, next up is going to be these guys. Right, this is my begonia breakdances, plural. I just watered these yesterday, so they may drip. Not entirely sure. But look how big they're getting, and they are flowering. And the flowers on this, I'll do a close-up video of these flowers, but they've got tiny little pink speckles on, and they're really cute. And the leaves are growing lovely. Oh, you can see the, like, I guess it is a type of variegation. You can see the variegation through the leaf. These ones are propagations off the main plant. I lost the main plant through thrips, as did my entire collection of begonias. Oops. So yeah, these are just propagations of the adult, and I was so glad that I took the time to take propagations of these, because I've since lost the adult. This flower stem here does have a female flower there, and there. These 2 bottom flowers are female flowers. You can tell the difference between the male and female because the female will have this big chunky bit behind the flower, whereas the male flower will not have that. You see these 2 here. I'm really not showing you very well, but the ones without the chunky bit behind are the male flowers. Right, and next up I have this absolute beast of a begonia. This is my begonia Zumba. And every time recently I've been looking at it thinking that it's the same size as it was when I bought it, but I know that if it was that size I wouldn't have picked it up. So it has absolutely exploded. It has got huge, and it doesn't show any signs of slowing down, and it is covered in flowers at the moment. Just absolutely loads. I have pollinated a few of them, like this one here. I've labeled the stem so I know which ones I've pollinated. This one is pollinated with the breakdance pollen, so that guy. And then this stem here I've pollinated just crossed it with itself. Looking back now, I probably won't even try to grow the ones that it's pollinated by itself. Maybe I will, but I might as well just take leaf propagations if I want more of it rather than growing them from seed. Although growing from seed could bring up something quite cool. So yeah, if it does have seeds, I'll grow them. But I'm looking forward to growing the breakdance cross Zumba, because if the breakdance had these colors, that would be so cool. That's like my ideal. And this one only cost me £5.50, and I need to bring up a picture of what it looked like when I first got it, because it was always been really big, but this is just like, it's a bit crazy. And I've just kept it in this nursery pot, so, and I'm not going to change it because it's doing really well right now with everything that it's in and the way I'm watering it, so I'm not going to change that because otherwise I could risk messing it all up. So that one is doing crazy good. And I really like it. It's just, I don't know what I'm going to do with it when it gets bigger than it already is, because right now it's kind of taken up such a big part of the windowsill. Not that that's a problem, but there is no issue. I'm just creating negatives. It's like amazing, and I need to just focus on that. Right, next up I've got, I think the last couple, oh, this one. Oh, and this one is probably actually older than the Zumba. Why older? I mean, I've had it longer, not its age. This is the Begonia. I forget the name of this one every single time. I'll put it on the screen. I can't think of it right now. The hell? Right. And this one is a mystery to me because I must have had this plant once upon a time. I think the only time I ever had this plant was Emma Greenwood sent me a cutting of it, I think. And then somehow when I made my propagator, I put one of these leaves in there, even though I checked all the videos I have of that propagator, and I never recorded myself putting this in there. However, here we are, we have one. So, oh, I can't remember the name of it. What are you? I'll put it on there. I'll remember when it's on the screen. And this is growing so nicely. The leaves are getting really like long and beautiful. The colors are just so nice. And I'm probably going to take some more cuttings of this because this is the only one I have. Unless there's one more in the propagator. I don't know, I need to check. But it's just gorgeous, and the color is really nice, like with the light behind coming through that youngest leaf there. It's really pretty, and it's in such a tiny little pot. It's in just a 6cm pot. I need to put it up into a bigger pot, but right now I don't have the need to do it. The only issue at the moment is that it always falls over, so I need to have it constantly rested on a different plant next to it. But that is not a problem. And look at the backs of the leaves as well. Just, oh, it's so nice. That is so nice. What are you called? I've told myself the name of this plant so many times because Emma Greenwood keeps reminding me what it is, and I keep forgetting, so I don't know where the issue lies with that. Right. Then I've got 4 more to show you. These ones are really new to me. This is the Begonia kingiana. It's not doing very good. I mean, it's not doing well. It hasn't changed much, but like some of the leaves now are getting a bit dying on the ends. Oh, it is a bit dry, so I do need to water it. This one dries out pretty quick, I think, because it's got so much foliage. But when I first got it, it looked like this. It was really like tight and compact. I was expecting that it would kind of spread out and reach out so that it could, I don't know, so that it could make more contact with the light and stuff, but it hasn't done that. I did take some cuttings of this. I have not checked on them since. I'll probably check on them soon, because if they grow nicely from cuttings, I might take a lot more cuttings of this and then focus less on this plant, because I do have a plan for this type of begonia. I don't want to share that plan just yet. It's nothing to do with like selling them or anything. There's a way that I want to display it, and if they propagate well, I'll be able to do that. If they don't propagate well, I won't be able to do that. But this one doesn't, I don't look at this and think, oh wow, that's so nice at the moment, because it just looks messy. but the individual leaves are really pretty. Like the light coming through there is just so nice. And it's a very different type of begonia, so it's not like any of my other varieties. Okay, so there's that one, which is, you know, I'll take it or leave it. Right, next up I have, oops, I'll show you this one because I bought all these three together. This is my begonia Cleopatra. In my mind I was thinking, what's her name? Cleopatra. It has not grown any new leaves. Oh, there's a new leaf coming. Yay. Oh, there's a hair. Sorry about that. You can just see this tiny little dot there in front of my finger. That is a baby leaf. And that is... Oh, there's another baby leaf just there. Okay, cool. It's actually not dying. Because when I first got this, it didn't look very good. It had only 3 leaves. And... yeah, so... but the leaf is beautiful. It is actually kind of similar to the Kingiania. Not massively similar, but you know what I mean. But lack of hair and it's quite a thick leaf. This leaf ain't looking too sharp. It's got a bit of browning on it, but other than that, a really nice begonia. And if it grows nicely, I'm gonna absolutely love it. But right now, I don't want to get attached because it don't look too good. This next one, however, has grown like really well and I'm loving it and I'm very much attached. This is the Begonia Faro or Faru, and this is growing like crazy. There's multiple new leaves coming up at the base and they're absolutely covered in white fuzz. And I have nothing negative to say about this. It is done really well. And out of all of those 3 that I've just shown you, the most recent 3, I thought this one was going to be the hardest or give me the most trouble, but actually the other 2 have been less excited about growing compared to this one. And I can see that the younger leaves, like the less mature leaves, have less spikes, and then as it gets more mature, it slowly puts out more spikes on the leaves, and it is just wicked. That leaf there is the most spiky. Oh, with the light coming through, that is well nice. Yeah, so that one's doing really well. I did take propagations of this one as well, but I have not checked up on them. They're in the propagator. Yeah, I actually haven't looked at it, so I'll probably go and have a look at it after I finish recording. So that one is really good, and yeah, just growing nicely. I'm so happy. It's so cool, it's so weird. And the backs of the leaves are like even more triggering than the fronts. Yeah, that's a bit grim, isn't it? But the fronts are really cool. Yeah, it's amazing. I love that one. Then the last begonia I've got to show you guys is an adopted begonia. This is Begonia Silver Jewel. This was my friend's, but she has since given it to me because she just doesn't want to keep it anymore. And yeah, this is a really unique one again, very different to the others. But it's like this leaf is all silver and it's just a bit like, whoa. This is definitely not one that I would have picked for myself, but it is really cool and I'm excited to see how it grows. There is a new leaf coming. There's, oh, yeah, one new leaf coming. Right there, it's literally butted up to the edge of the pot, so maybe I will try and transplant it at some point. Yeah, I guess it doesn't need to be in such a big pot as well. I know that pot's not big in any way, but I could put that down into like a 5 centimeter pot and it would probably do just as well. So yeah, that one's quite cool. Once it grows more, I'll have more of an opinion on it, but right now it's just an interesting one. And yeah, so that's all of my begonias. I do have a lot of propagations in a propagation box, but I'm not going to include those in this video. Because they're not like, this is my collection, they're propagations. I've got a divide. Cool, okay, so I hope you guys enjoyed that, and I'll definitely be getting more begonias this year. I'm not going to let myself, I was gonna say I'm not gonna let myself go crazy, but I say that every time and I always do. But my collection like comes and goes. It kind of like builds up, then crashes, then builds up, then crashes. At the moment, it's building up, which means there's going to be an inevitable crash with the plants. But let's not materialize that fault. Okay, cool. Rambling. Yeah, I'll update you guys with how successful the pollination is because I'm cross-pollinating these two. And maybe I'll do a video on that at some point. I don't know if you guys want one, I'll do it, but we'll wait and see. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed my collection. Let me know which one was your favourite, and if you've got a begonia variety that you think I would really like, please let me know. I really like the like dark burgundy ones, the black ones, the funky shaped ones, and the nice like browning colour. I love that one as well. So if you guys have a variety you think I'll like, and the silvery coloured ones, but not too silver, let me know because I always want more. Okay, right. I'm gonna leave it there. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you in my next video, and yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. Bye bye.